Hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear me tonight on Printing Pretzels. We got a banger of a show coming, hopefully. These tool changers are coming out wild. So we're going to cover the one that Creality is releasing, the one that Sovol I just did a video on. We're also going to cover the new Infimech printer that's coming out. And you'll probably hear some printer noises in the background as we just got through with maintenance day. So stay tuned on Printing Pretzels. Patrick, how's it going? So we're not doing too bad tonight. We got some awesome things that we're getting ready to do. This may or may not be the last Printing Pretzels, not ever, don't worry, not ever. The last Printing Pretzels in this studio, knock on wood. ST, how's it going? R2K, how's it going? So tonight, we're excited. We got some good things. So you can see I have some things here that we're going to be testing for the U1s. I really want to find that perfect, for us in the studio anyways, perfect dryer system for the Snapmaker, so I can print and dry and it just be flawless and I don't get any retraction errors or whatever. Which machine directly feeds into that auto feeder with minimal modding. So we're going to talk about workflow, but we're also going to talk about that great divide that I think is coming to 3D printing. We're seeing all these tool changers come out. We saw Bamboo Lab came out with the H2C last year, which is not really a tool changer. It's more of a nozzle swapper, but they're banking on their AMS system with that. Now we just saw Creality come out with what they want to come out with the KliTek, I think is what it's called. I could be pronouncing that wrong. I just saw that drop today earlier. So we're going to cover that on the channel. And those are two of the biggest players in the game for 3D printing, Creality and Bamboo. And they're banking on the nozzle swapping, which means that they feel like their AMS and ecosystem is there. So they're developing something for that. I'm excited about it. I saw it drop today and we'll break that down tonight. But R2K, Creator 5 yet? It's in Anchorage, Alaska. Last time my tracking update came through. So it should be here, hopefully today's Wednesday. So I'm hoping by Friday it'll be here. And we're excited about that. And like I stated just a few minutes ago, for those of you that are just joining the live stream, this may or may not be the last Printing Pretzels, not ever, not ever, but in this studio. Depending on how the closing goes and stuff like that, we may be doing the next Printing Pretzels in the new studio. It's not going to have as good a lighting in the new studio yet until I get that upgraded, but I would want to share that with you as soon as possible here on Printing Pretzels because you've been with us on this journey, so I want to share that with you all if it's available. So, Patrick, have you seen a new Waylo filament storage system? A bit expensive, but it looks interesting. Patrick, no, if you're not on our Discord, jump on our Discord and send that to me, or in the description of the video here, you could find our email and you can email that to me. I would love to look that up because I'm also looking at a couple different filament storage systems for after drying. So I'm definitely interested in that fact. I've got a filament storage system that I picked up on Amazon, and go figure it, there's no more available on Amazon. And Sunlu is also going to send me their big storage drying unit that's coming out. I do have an update on that. They're looking at releasing that sometime in July now. So not a big delay, but I'm glad that they delayed it for whatever reason so that we get the best product possible. We'll be checking that out here on the studio. I'll be having that probably here pretty shortly. Probably sometime right around when we get into the new studio. So I'll be checking that out and developing some content on that. We got some great things coming up for the new studio. I'm super excited for not only us here at the studio, but for you all. You're going to get to see more than just a little box camera area. So that's exciting. And so is Dante. He's excited. But before we get too far into it, I do want to state that we had an art fair this past weekend. It went great. I couldn't keep people out of our booth, so it was fantastic. That was a great thing for us. So one of these giant guys, these octopi from Cinderwing 3D. We sold the purple version, purple gradient version, so I went off and printed a rainbow one. He actually just got done 3 minutes before the live stream, so I threw some other things on the U1 that I need to get printed off. But this guy is printed out of Strong Hero 3D's gradient PETG, rainbow gradient, Sunlu black and white for the eyes, and it just looks so great. And he was first day of the, no, beginning of the second day, because they came back because they're like, we thought about it and we got to have it. So that was cool to see. So, so let's talk about for a second some announcements that I want to talk about for the channel before we get too far into this great divide topic that we're going to cover tonight. I got some notes we're going to go over. We're going to get back to that topic coverage as we like to do here on Print and Pretzels. Sparks, how's it going? Hey, going to Rep this year? I'm not sure. That would be cool if I could. 4 for 180 isn't too bad. I'll have to check that out, R2K. So, a couple of announcements here for the studio. So, I'm working on a project with Snapmaker for their 10th anniversary. Not sponsored by them in any way, but they are sending additional units for them so I can finish it in time. It has to do with their little fidget marbles, and you guys saw last week I was printing some of the tubes on the Snapmaker U1 and whatnot for this Sovol run. We had it at the art fair, the prototype. It worked out great. A couple of times I took I don't know where I put it, but the wolf box duster. It was kind of fun to, someone decided to put a hatchie pal down the tube, go figure, and I had to blow it out, and it's fun to blow out all the marbles. But it's part of their make something wonderful thing. So it's not sponsored, but they're helping me get it finished in time. So shout out to them. And they're having their 10th anniversary this year. I'm super excited about that. And what they have planned, I don't know, but 10th anniversaries are big moments for companies, and it's incredible. So stay tuned on the lookout from Snapmaker for something from some sort of announcement from them. Last year for their 9th anniversary, they actually secretly announced the U1. If you go back and look at their social media pages, they said they're going to change the 3D printing world, and boy, did they. So 10th anniversary, what do they have in store? I don't know, but I'm excited for it. Second, something from Sunlu that I can share with you guys. They're actually getting ready to build a factory in the United States. So hopefully, factories don't build themselves overnight, but hopefully long term, filament storage or filament ordering here in the United States will become easier to accomplish. So shout out to Sunlu for that. I'm super excited for them for that. And that's really cool that I could share that with you all. I'm going to be testing for the U1, all these different filament dryers, including the Snapmaker ones, so I can find the perfect fit for me, for our studio, for our workflow. So you're going to get to see the Creality Space Pies, the dual one, and then the 4-bay one. You're going to get to see the Partner E1, and then also the, I don't remember what that first one is up there. I can't, oh, the Sunlu Filler Dryer S2. One of them's from, 2 of them will be from Sunlu, 2 of them will be from Creality, one of them's from the Chi systems. And I'll do the same thing for the Creator 5 Pro, because it's got the same problem. The problem that frustrates me with all these tool changers is there's no printing while drying. And that's going to lead us into tonight's topic. Oct42, glad to see the tool changer battles have started. Snapmaker FlashForge is early, but Sovol looks to be leaking images. Yes, and that brings me to tonight's topic. The great divide in 3D printing that I see coming. So it started last year with Snapmaker and the U1 when they released their teaser announcement, and then really when they released the Kickstarter, Bamboo's answer to the purgeless printing was the H2C, and they're different. And I'll give a general overview on how they're different. I could see Chi coming out with one of the great engineering filaments. They're not afraid of beefing up the max nozzle temperatures, etc. I got a filler partner on my U1, works fine. All right, I appreciate that. But the way I see this great divide happening is it really started with the U1 and the H2C, and the U1 is that tool changer and doesn't really have an ecosystem around it. That's not to knock on Snapmaker. They pushed the innovation on these tool changers and made it really affordable. But the caveat of that is there's nothing to print while drying. There's no AMS system with it, and the technology is there, but there's not anything to pair with it to make that experience just not necessarily click and go, but less painful. Because if you try to print with glow PLA like we do without drying it, even if beforehand or even during it, it can snap off in that uh, tubing is the curvature, because glow PLA is extremely fragile. It'll snap off like a twig in the middle of summer that's been there for 3 years. Uh, but the other half of that story is represented kind of, I don't really like using bamboo because they're kind of not very friendly right now to creators, but not necessarily YouTube creators, but the creators out in the world, when we touched on that last week. But when they did the H2C, they banked on their ecosystem, which was using the AMS system and switching out the nozzles. And that's kind of like the Vontech index system does, and some of these other printer companies that are coming out, like the Infimech, I think it's how you pronounce it, is coming out, that I have a video coming out next week for. And now Creality is doing the same thing. They have their AMS system. They have it with what looks like their Toolchanger nozzle coming out. So it looks like, and I'll get that in here in just a second on the screen share, but they're getting ready to release something that I'm super excited about, because they're banking on the ecosystem part of it. Their AMS unit, I'm sure, is going to either work with it, or they're developing it. They have another AMS unit working with it. But the I think it's called KliTek. I almost say KillTech. KliTek, or KliTek system, and it seems like the technology is there for the Toolchanger, and I've been talking about it since like January, and they need to come together. AMS units and Toolchangers need to come together, and whether they do that with nozzle swappers, this really reminds me. This is probably going to date me here. When beta tapes and VHS units came out, I mean, you had both of them. They both work great. Or for more modern references, when DVD or HD DVD and Blu-ray came out, they both provided a service and for that industry, but the technology, one of them won in the end. So is that what we're experiencing with this great divide that's coming on? Drop it in the comments of what you guys think, and let me know, chat family or replay family. That's what I see coming. But I want to look at this new Creality machine, at least at the very image that they've leaked on their website. So give me just a second to pull that up here on Creality's website. It's really exciting to see. Actually, I'll pull up the image on their Facebook. It's a little bit easier for me to do on Facebook. So I'll share my screen with you all, and you'll see the infinite screen of death for a second. But here, I'm going to hide this real quick. I did comment on it earlier. But here, this is, oops, let's get back into that image. This is pretty exciting. So what I see here is what kind of looks like the Vontech / index system, where they're going to swap out the entire feed path, maybe. I don't quite know, because I mean, it's just a teaser image, but that's what it looks like to me. And let's make sure that you guys can see. You are on screen share. Yeah, you are. That's what it looks like to me, is that this is going to swap out this, whatever this device is here, is going to grab that feed path, or maybe that they have a tool changer, and these are extra tool changers with extra feed paths. That would be a big machine, because I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe possibly 8. It looks like maybe, or even 9, because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 feed paths. So what does that mean? There's a lot to look at with this new machine coming out. And it's supposed to release on Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let me get at you guys back off a screen share here real quick. That's huge. Yeah, Bardicus, Creality version of Index. That's what I'm thinking. Now, the important question, and I've been saying this since the $1,000 mistake video that we did earlier this year, is all this technology is fine and ecosystem is fine and dandy, but if it's priced too high, you're going to have the same problem as the H2C. It's going to be excellent. I'm sure it's great, but are you going to price it out of the consumer's range? What price point is this going to fall at? I'm hoping we'll find out on a Saturday. I'm going to be glued into it on my phone while I'm getting ready to move the studio. And I will have a video out to you guys as soon as I can. And if you guys, Charles Slates, how's it going? If you guys want to get in on the early action, I did drop an affiliate link for Creality down below. It's not the actual link for the listing, it's for their new arrivals page. But if you want to get in and you want to look at it, and it's something that's going to interest you for your workflow specifically, I don't know anything about this machine, but if you're thinking about buying it, consider using our affiliate link because it will help out the channel slightly and it doesn't cost you guys anything. But I dropped that down there so you guys have it. So I'll make an announcement on the channel, on our Discord, on our Facebook, and on the community pages of the YouTube when it drops, so you guys can at least look at it, because this is interesting. This is one of the two bigger players that have been around for a long time. Bamboo, I mean, Bamboo's been around for a while, but Creality, to me, they're celebrating their 12th anniversary as well. So they've been around a while as well. And this is a huge announcement from them. This is an entry into the Toolchanger / nozzle swapper for them. So that's huge. What kind of AMS system is going to come with it? Because I highly doubt they're going to release this 8/9, whatever it's going to be, without something to pair with it for the workflow. Because what I'm seeing on there, as the notes that I took, they're going to be, they've advertised like multi-material with it as well. So I think it's called a CFS. I mean, it's multi-material, PETG, PLA, all that stuff goes through there on their, I want to say the K1. It's interesting to me at the very least that this is the first Bondtech index system. It's coming out even before the index system can come out, which is kind of interesting or ironic. And then also on the same note, Infimech, which is the video that I'm getting ready to release on Tuesday next week, they're doing the same thing. If you look at their information on their social media page, it looks like something is going to grab that feed path and then take it, and then this stuff is moving fast, and I called it earlier this year. It is going crazy. I'm going to catch up on the comments, and I'm going to recap for everybody here in just a second. David Walton, I asked AI, and I think it's $900 to $14.99 for a new printer and around $500 to update a K2 printer. We will see. That would be absolutely insane to have what looks to be 9 colors. That would be extremely competitive. Now, let me transition to Snapmaker. I don't think they have been sitting idly by. I've seen them. I don't have any inside information, so don't think I do. But I've seen them work with Sidecar, and they see that there's hunger for. I mean, they brought Sidecar to the Boston, the event in Boston for TCT, and they brought Sidecar there. They're open source. I'm almost certain. I mean, they brought in. I think his name is Radadu, if I pronounced that correctly. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly. In-house for Full Spectrum. I don't think they're sitting idly by either. They have to be actively working on stuff. This stuff is going to move fast, guys. And this isn't hyperbole. This is buckle your seatbelts. I called it earlier this year. If you're looking to spend $1,000 on only one printer this year, you might make a mistake if you buy too early. Because 2026 and early 2027 is going to be the year of the Toolchanger nozzle swapper. We're getting that next iteration of innovative technology, and it started with the Snapmaker U1. I mean, you could technically say it started with the Prusa XL with the 5 tool changer, but that was extremely expensive. I'm talking about the affordability and the technology coming together for us for 3D printing. It's exciting. Uh, so what do you guys think? If Creality comes out with an entire ecosystem around it from the get-go, do they go from not having an entry in the game, I call it game, but entry in the industry, to the leader? That's the next question. That's something I've been asking since the beginning of this. They won't have full spectrum yet, but if they have option open to Orca Slicer, they could get options for full spectrum. What does that do for the rest of the industry? Does that make everybody like Atom Form second guess what they're doing? I I don't know anything about Atom Form right now. They're supposed to be releasing next month, but with Creality dropping this, what does that do to the entire industry? That's my question. I'm interested in see what happens in the next 6 months of this year. I'll be doing lots of art fairs and stuff too at the same time. So this is going to be a very busy time of the year, which I'm excited for. Pilled 3D. Yeah, I'm in no rush waiting to see what comes out next. I'm in the same boat. I'm like, the U1 came out and it just works. I'm so happy with it. Like, I'm in no rush. We have the U1s. They complete 95% of our prints that are multicolor / multi-material. I very rarely go over 4 colors. This was 3 colors, believe it or not, because I used a gradient color. I used the black, I used the white, and that was it. I could technically, if I needed supports on there, I could have did support material with it. 4 colors is about the limit that I use for the most part, but there are some things that I haven't done because I can't on the U1 because of that restriction of 4 colors. Now, if they introduce an AMS system with that, that fixes that. In theory, if an AMS system were to come out with this unit, or for this unit, it could be retracting the filament at the same time the other nozzle is printing and putting in a new one. Now, is that why they designed that plastic in the back that you can see through? Did they forward think that? That would be interesting. I will never know that answer probably, but maybe you replace that with the technical small purge sheet you would need if you needed to do that 5th, 6th, or 7th color. And then you still get the fast swapping for the tool changer. The index type system with these feed paths that change, how fast do those change? That's another question I would have. How fast do those change in comparison to an entire tool head changing? Is it faster? Is it slower? Is it as reliable? I've had this unit since January 5th or 6th of this year. I haven't had any issues with it other than that turtle not printing, but that was because the notorious TPU, it's squishy, and it was the machine's fault, but it wasn't the machine's fault. It's just TPU is hard to print with. R2K, I got the Creator 5 Pro because I don't really need a bunch of colors. I really need I'm more concerned with combining multiple filament types in one print. R2K, that's my next question for this Creality machine coming out. And the Infimech that's coming out, I think it's 8 materials you can do with it. Can you do multi-material with it? Like engineering type stuff. Is it heated? The MX Pro for the Infimech that's coming out, that I'm releasing the video for next week, is supposed to be able to do that. I don't know anything about Infimech. They seem like they're a newer entry to this 3D printing, and they're releasing it theirs on Kickstarter. Kickstarter, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Sovol, they're coming out with their 8.6. It's 6 tool changer for their unit. I've seen on the comments that some people, hi buddy, I've seen in the comments that some people, you want the marble? There you go. No? I've seen in the comments that some people aren't big fans of Sovol because it's more of the tinkerer type machine. But does that change with this unit? Because this unit looks more like it's from the images that they've teased, is a more overall rounded and polished unit. What does that mean? Did they take the innovation that people were doing with their SV08 Maxes and installing tool changers on it and take that to another platform? I think I saw that the build plate volume on that is 300 by 300 by 350. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I saw that on Sovol's page somewhere. but it could be different. That's just me trying to recall it from the depths of my memory with all these new printers coming out. Charles, I love my U1. I've been doing 6 colors. They have been testing me today. Charles, how have you been doing the colors like with color pauses? Uh, Glow Filament was testing me lately. Sometimes, not all. Oh, he did find the marble. Not all the time, but sometimes the Glow Filament would have a little bit of hard time retracting, and out of there if when I went to go change out the color. But to me, all I did was go in there and I had to manually remove it. Same thing as I would have to do with TPU. That's not a really big pain point for me, but it's just because the glow filament is notoriously abrasive. However, I don't think that's a consistency problem at all. And Sparks, oh, FlashForge put ads on their slicer. I'm not surprised. Uh, there may be some sort of deal that they got going on there with Meshy AI. I wouldn't be surprised. They have their, it looks like FlashForge is trying to, and I can't speak for them per se, but this is just my pennies for your thoughts type of thing. They may be trying to develop their own ecosystem, kind of like Bamboo Studio. And I know you don't see ads in Bamboo Studio, except for if it's for Bamboo, but maybe how they're getting the investment for the initial costs for having that entire suite of things that you can do. I don't know, but I know I'm gonna get the Creator 5 here and the Creator 5 Pro. We got the Creator 5 coming for review, and the Creator 5 Pro we backed. So we're gonna have both of those machines in the studio. I don't know when the Creator 5 Pro is supposed to get here. I still haven't got a tracking number for that one. But we're gonna be testing that right here on the channel too. These tool changers, these nozzle swappers, they're coming fast. And that leads me to the question, what is Bamboo doing? Just like Creality, Creality is quiet until today. Like I didn't know the first thing about Creality with any other tool changers. I heard that there was rumor, but take that with a grain of salt. You never know. But obviously they've been actively developing something behind the scenes. What's Bamboo doing? I don't, if they don't come out with something that competes with these other machines other than the H2C, I would be surprised, especially if this new Creality machine comes out and comes in between, say, $1,000 and $1,700, somewhere in that range. That's affordable, more affordable for the average consumer that wants to print multi-material or multicolor. And I'm hoping that this new machine has got an actively heated and cooled chamber. That would cover everything. That would be very awesome to see. Charles, yes, I've been doing pauses. It was giving me adhesive issues. I think it's humidity. Where do you live, Charles? Do you live somewhere where it's super humid, I guess? I know in Florida, I would have adhesive issues all the time. Pile 3D, I think Bamboo will announce something after their anniversary sale, which is next month. It's interesting, a lot of these companies have anniversaries next month. Bamboo's got an anniversary next month. We've got, I want to say Snapmaker's anniversaries next month. Sunlu's anniversary next month. There's somebody else that has having anniversary next month. It's an interesting month. So maybe they do an announcement. Maybe they wait for Creality to get theirs out of there. FlashForge is out of the way now. Snapmaker's out of the way. And then Bamboo finally says, hey, here's what we got. But their release schedule seems to be more like every 6 months to me. But maybe they change it up for this anniversary type thing. Because the last release we had was the X2D, which was about 2 months ago now. So I would be surprised if they release something before July, unless it's for that anniversary. So I am partial agreement there. R2K, they removed the ad after the backlash. Oh, I haven't gone into that slicer yet because I don't have our machine, so I can't speak on that behalf. But I think a lot of these printer companies, they're out there and they're testing the waters because they're like, hey, let's try this. I would imagine that companies, they want to try something, and if they get backlash, it's good that they listened. Because if they didn't, that's when I would have questions. If they don't listen to their communities that buy their printers and and take that feedback with a grain of salt and implement said feedback, that to me would not be a very good sign. But if they did take the ad down, that's important to know. And I have seen out there that they have backtracked on their statement of, hey, we're gonna report you to the police if you print something that's not supposed to be printed. I've seen out there that they've retracted that statement, so I can clarify that. I'm not pro for FlashForge. I'm not pro against FlashForge. I'm not against pro or against any company. I'm for whatever fits our workflow, and that's part of what's going on here. Is I'm trying to figure that out, because all this technology, just like with you all, I'm sure all this technology is coming out. Where's it all going to land in 2 years? Like, what's going to fit and be right for us for the long term? What am I going to live with, like I did with the P1SS for almost 4 years? Like, which one of those machines is going to be our workhorses? R2K, I think it will be next year before Bamboo drops a Toolchanger. I think they will have it bulletproof and fully integrated into the ecosystem, maybe even a new AMS unit with it. That wouldn't... Charles, I live in good old Flint, Michigan. Hey, welcome to the, or not welcome, but we're also in Michigan. I live here in Ludington, Michigan, up here in the western side of the state, right next to Lake Michigan, like 2 blocks from Lake Michigan. And I agree with you. It can be pretty humid here, especially in the summer. Winter, not so much. But yeah, I definitely think that whatever Bamboo is going to release, they're, in a good way, are notorious for making sure that their stuff just works. And that's what they're known for. They're working for, they're known for other things too, but they're known for making sure that their stuff just works and works with ease. It has an ecosystem around it. So I don't see them releasing something half-baked. Be Goodson 2006. I want a 350 cube tool changer with 6 tools. That would be awesome. Something that has the bigger format like that, 350. I would be surprised if it doesn't have more than 6, because I feel like if a 6 tool changer came out and you had that big of build volume, you'd be missing out if you didn't put more tool heads in there, 4 more colors. I think the Infimech that's coming out to Kickstarter is going to have the 300 build volume, but it's going to have 8. And it's... when I was breaking that video down, and you'll see it next week on Tuesdays when it's dropping, I got a couple editing tweaks I have to do for it. Its filament pass for the bigger unit goes around the back instead of up and over the machine like the small one does and like the Snapmaker does. That to me is a little bit puzzling. Why does it go around instead of up? How does the filament feed into the back? Is it because it sits up so high? Because it's a bigger machine? I want to see what the innovative tech is behind that. Piled 3D, surely a larger Snapmaker will come out soon. If they're not developing something, I would be surprised. I think they're probably gonna... I don't have any of that information. I wish I did, because I would love to share it. And I'm not under any NDAs except for the top hat. And that's only because I can't share negative feedback on that. I'm loving this thing. It's working fine. And it's actually way quieter than the PopCap. Anyways, back on what I was saying. To me, it would make sense if they release like a U1 Max or a U1 Pro, because then they could say, hey, you've got the U1. Here's a bigger one with 6. Or here's the U1, and make the tool heads the same so you can carry them across units. That would be an ecosystem build to me. Or if they do release a new tool changer, the head, make it backwards compatible with the U1. That would be cool. And this is just me just like spitballing things. Like, I genuinely think that they probably do have something in development. I don't know. I would love to know, but I don't. Pile 3D. Snapmaker has made lots of big printers before. They have. We just got the artisan in here in the studio just in time for me to pack it back up to move. But they have made 400 by 400 by... I don't remember what the height is on the artisan. I'm over there looking at it, waiting for it to get to the new studio. But they have made that, and they've made them well. And I don't doubt they have something in development. Will we see something from their anniversary announcement like we did last year? I don't know. I hope we do. I really hope we do. Just to keep that innovative flow going. Larry, I feel like 4 is plenty of tool heads. Give us 4 or 5 head with a capability of up to 4 AMS type units instead of hanging on it on the sides would be better for. I agree. I think 6 is going to be the magic number if we're going to pair an AMS unit with it, because either 6 or 8, and let me explain why. You have full spectrum printing, and that's excellent. And I really want to try full spectrum printing with translucent. No, Riley, sorry, buddy, you guys stay over there. With translucent PETG, and see what that's all about. But full spectrum, and you can correct me in the comments, replay family or chat family. It's CMYK, and then black and white could really flush it out. And that's 6 right there. And now if you want to add, say, support material, that's 7. And then why not just have an 8th in case something were to malfunction? You have an extra tool head to just be there if you need it. And then the AMS can route it to that if it needs to be. But earlier this year, I dropped a video that explained how the AMS could work if it was implemented. I don't remember which video it actually was, but what that would do is allows for extended CMYK printing. You don't have to change your filament every roll, because if you had a dedicated AMS for that, you're gonna have a stack of AMS units for one printer. But hey, I've got plenty of space down here below my IKEA shelves to do it. And if I can print without having to change the rolls, that also means I can print while drying. That's a whole ecosystem to me, and that just makes sense. Now, which one of these companies is going to do that first and have that speed along with it? Put all the pieces of the puzzle together. I do know that Snapmaker has reached out to Eric from Sidecar, and they brought him to the Boston TCT. So I can't imagine that they're not talking to the Sidecar project in some way, shape, or form and investigating that at the very least, because they are so pro open source. Anything AMS CFS style has, nobody wants to wait for the filament to change over in the tube. I still have to design to minimize filament changes if that's the case. Bob, with tool changers, that would be different. And let me explain how. So if you're printing with one tool head, you could have your AMS unit loading the other one with the correct filament at the same time. So that would eliminate the retraction time right there, because you have 2 separate feed paths you don't have to worry about. You don't have to pull it through the same tube at the same time. Now, what I don't know if it'll work with or not is how well that'll work with something like abrasiveness with glow PLA, like we use here in the studio a lot. When you use an AMS unit with glow PLA or anything that's abrasive, it wears your PTFE tubes out a lot. Now, with that being said, if that's taken into consideration during the design process, that totally can be negated for the most part. Because for a while there on my P1Ss, I was printing with glow filament and it tore the actual AMS unit up. And I had to replace some parts, but I took that into our workflow process. But as soon as the U1 came out, I was like, man, 4 colors with gold PLA, I'm all over it. But I think that retraction error can be totally negated with tool changers because you have separate filament feed paths. That's what's the problem with the H2C. You have the same feed path. It's got to go up and down. Even with the track switching system, it's still got to go through that one section all by itself. Yeah, technically you have 2 tool heads in the H2C you could use, but it's neither here nor there. You still have to negate that. But the tool changer, I believe, offers something different. How about an AMS assigned to each tool head? Could that change multiple colors simultaneously? The Snapmaker already kind of does that, not changes color, but it's already preheating one tool head while the other one's printing. If it knows when it's about to switch, it's already preheated. That's why it can switch so quickly. I don't think it's going to be that hard to figure out how to get the filament to go in before it changes tool heads and then preheat. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how I make it sound easy because I'm here on YouTube, but I don't think it's impossible to figure out if it's not already figured out. It looks like Creality may have already figured it out with their system. They probably watched everybody else do what they're doing and they're like, okay, we see what you're doing. We see what you're doing. Let's do this all together. That might have been a smart move. I don't know. We'll see with this Creality machine with the KliTek or KliTek. I don't know how to correctly pronounce that just yet because it just came out. The announcement just came out today. What does that mean when it comes out? What does it do? I'm going to be watching very closely because it could be, I'm not trying to hyperbole this, but it could be the first company slash machine to put it all together. I don't know, but we're going to watch and find out. But with that, all that being said, if you're just joining us on the live stream, it's exciting times we're living in. We've got the great divide happening, in my opinion, on these tool changers and slash nozzle swappers. We have the index system, which is technically, for lack of a better way to say it, I still think that's a nozzle swapper. It's technically the tool changer thing because it switches up the whole feed path, but it still swaps essentially the nozzle and the tool head doesn't disconnect from it like the Snapmaker does. Which technology is the one the industry finally lands on? We've seen it with other technologies and other industries. If you're been around for a little while like I've been, the VHS and the beta tapes, or the HD DVD and Blu-ray, and I'm sure there's an example of things that are more current than that, but those are the ones that I can pull from my memory bank right now. I definitely think that that's where we're at currently today in the industry. And it started last year with the H2C and the U1. The U1 came out, they said, hey, we're making this affordable for everyone so they can print multicolor with less purge and quick swapping time so they don't have to worry about the AMS swap time. And we saw with how successful they were on Kickstarter, it was incredible. Best-selling 3D printer on Kickstarter, I think still as of today. Then, in response, whether you think they did or not, response, in my opinion, they did. Bamboo early preview released the H2C, their answer to the purgeless printing. And they banked on the nozzle swapper because it still works with their ecosystem, the AMS. It's great, but it still has that filament retraction time that is the biggest problem. Sure, we can print the same things up to 4 colors on the 2 units, but this U1 is going to be faster because it doesn't have to pull the filament out and put it back in the same feed path, or 2, because I know it's a dual tool head or dual nozzle. What's the industry going to land on? Now we have the index system or adjacent index system with Creality coming out, or the Infimech if you're checking that out too. And I'll have a video on that later this coming week, and I'll be dropping a Creality video whenever we get more information on that one. But these systems seem to swap out the whole feed path. So where does the industry land, the consumers basically, which ones do they choose that, hey, this is what fits the majority of us? Which technology sticks with an ecosystem around it? The tool changers did the technology first. These other companies like Creality and Bamboo that are bigger companies that already had their ecosystem, they said, hey, what can we build to fit our ecosystem? Which one gets it all put together first, and does the community land with? Larry, do you have anything to say about the FlashForge 5? I've been waiting for weeks to even hear about anything about my order. I can comment on that. Mine's in Anchorage, Alaska, as the last time I read my tracking number for my review unit. I think with the popularity of their machine, they got a little overwhelmed. So I think initially those 2,000 or whatever units they said that will be shipping out, I think they received so many backings because the community is so hungry for these tool changers and these purgeless printing and not wasting so much filament while they're printing, that they may have gotten overwhelmed. So I think I haven't heard anything on my Creator 5 Pro yet. I haven't gotten any emails on that. I backed that one personally, so I don't know on that. I don't have an answer, but I can reach out to their email contact. I don't have anybody other than their marketing team on. I'll ask them and see what the information I can get from them. But as far as I was tracking, they're supposed to be shipping at the end of May, beginning of June, and be to everyone by the end of June if you did the air shipping or whatever. I don't know why. Why didn't I click the $50 button, add-on button for the airdropping for the Creator 5 Pro? Hindsight's 2020, guys. Um, but that's what I have to say on the Flash Forge. Ours is coming, the review unit. I'm hoping it'll be here probably in the next 2 or 3 days. I'll probably post a short on YouTube here saying, hey guys, we got it. Moving into the new studio. We're going to get it unboxed, I promise. Because that's what's happening right now simultaneous for us. We're moving out of the old studio and into the new one as of June 2nd, as of this time. Knock on wood, barring anything changing. But we're getting a much larger space, and I'm very excited about it because it's just going to be such more of an open environment, and we'll be able to do so many more things. I'm looking at doing like a drying station in there. We won't just have 2 print stations, and doing so much more cool content for the channel. Pile 3D, what is printing behind me? So printing behind me right now is something that I sold out of on our art fair this weekend. I call them little dumpling dudes, but they're little dumpling clickers. They're on Maker World, but I backed their creator on Patreon for their commercial license, and we sold out of them in one day. I think I went there with like 29 dumpling clickers, and we sold out of them in the first day. So I was like, whoa. So that's what's printing behind me on the U1s, because they're multicolor. They're 4 colors. I think I have one of the tops of the clickers over here. I got 2 of them actually. So they're just little dumplings that go in a case. I had to order more filament for the cases, but they just go in a case and they click. But right now here in Michigan, they're super popular. I guess earlier this year, the little squishy ones came out and they couldn't keep them in stores, and they're all the rage with the kids right now is these little dumpling, we call them dumpling dudes, but each one is a different color, and I've got the perfect setup for that because I've got the rainbow gradient PETG that I can print these out of. So every time I print them, they are slightly different color, or I can do a glitter filament, or I can do all these sorts of different things, but that's what's printing behind me on the U1 right now. And that's something else exciting that I'm doing for the new studio, is I'll be able to do like a really cool print cam for you all. I'm looking at like the PAX firmware for the Snapmaker U1 and being able to like, hey, you want to see what I'm printing? Let me click the camera. You can check it out. Things like that. So that's some exciting stuff that I'm looking to do with you all. Larry, it was $100 extra. I didn't either. I keep kicking myself. Like, yeah, I'm like, man, why did I not just click that button just to get that airdrop shipping? Because I would love to have it right now, even though I probably wouldn't have it right now because I still don't have my review unit. But that's partially my fault because I elected to get the Creator 5 Pro for a review unit, and I was like, well, let me get the Creator 5 first, because I'm going to get the Creator 5 Pro anyways because I backed that one. So I switched it in the middle of it because I really want to know what the base unit does and be able to say on the channel here, here's what the Creator 5 Pro does, here's what the Creator 5 does, versus what the Snapmaker U1 does and all these other tool changers that come out. I can't promise I'm going to get every single one because that would be an arm and a leg to buy all that stuff. But I will be very selective on what I think will fit our workflow. And I'm very interested in this Creality machine because, not hyperbole, I fully think, unless this preview image could be different than what I'm envisioning currently, this could be the first machine that we see that puts it all together. Ecosystem, drying while printing, fast prints, multicolor, multi-material, and an enclosed chamber that's heated and cooled. Is it the first machine that will do that? That would be cool. I'm excited to see. As soon as Saturday is here, I'll be working on moving the studio, but I will be having Facebook pulled up on the computer, and I'll be watching to make sure that there's no announcements that I'm missing. Oh, Larry, I got the Pro also. That enclosed chamber is important for me, but for different reasons. You guys probably don't have the same problem I have with cats. One of the videos you guys might have saw, if you were paying attention, I think it was like a month ago, you actually saw Riley walk across the bed as it was moving on the A1 printer as it was printing. It didn't mess anything up because cats are kind of agile like that, but that's always something that I'm concerned about. Like, why? Like, I don't want the cats to get hurt on one of these machines. That's why enclosures are important. And as soon as I put the top hat on that, I stopped getting cat hair errors for connection issues with the pogo pins. I had like 2 or 3 of them, and it hasn't happened since. It was always cat hair. I had to clean off them. Larry, I think I might get the U1 as well. I'm torn on the H2C though. Is it fast? See, that's where I'm looking at for all this stuff. I've got 1, 2, 3. It's either 7 or 8 AMS units, whether it's the AMS HT, AMS2 Pro, the original AMS units. I've got so many of those things. And I don't really multicolor print unless all my other machines are filled up or I need to do 5 colors. What do I do with the P1Ss? I'm going to obviously phase them down into single color printers, probably with 1 AMS, so I can print extended with that same color and not have to worry about it. However, what do I do with all my other AMS units? Do I get the H2C, or do I wait to see what Bamboo does with their new whatever they do? That's where I'm at with that. There's also another alternative that I'm looking at doing. Right now, I have the A1 Mini, and it has the AMS unit you can pair with it now. Not the A1 AMS Lite, but you can pair an actual AMS unit with it now. And I did a video a while back on automation of the A1 Mini. I'm currently using one of my AMS units for that thing, for extended printing, that I don't have to touch. The other day, I was at the art fair for 2 days. I came home, I didn't touch it, and it was still printing the basic color Zorbals for our art fairs. That's automation. I don't have to touch it. Is that some way that I can recycle these AMS units into workflow production? That'd be pretty cool. Sparks, hey, what's this button do now? I'm number 1. I appreciate that, Sparks. Thanks for donating to the channel through the super chats. What these super chats go to, they go to our power projects. So the power projects in the new studio, what those are going to be. So what I'm working on is an drying station currently that I'm going to be testing some of these batteries out over there to print and dry at the same time, or for a drying station, but I want to offset my energy costs through solar. That's what these super chats go towards. That's our first power project. I want to check that out. I want to see what that's all about. Because these heaters are actually what eat the most out of our print farm. It's not the printers themselves. Once the bed's heated, the electricity cost goes down. Can I use a battery to power my dryers through peak print hours? That's going to be one of the things that I'm going to be looking at, and that's what our first power project is. So shout out to you, Sparks. I appreciate that $25 donation for a super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sparks stole the crown. Is that the game we're going to play, guys? Who's going to steal the crown? Oh, you guys are funny. So I'm just waiting for my Creator 5. I'm in the same boat, Nate. Our Creator 5, I have the tracking number for it. I think it got like caught up in customs as it was coming across the big pond. And well, the ocean pond, not the Lake Michigan pond that I live next to. It's supposed to be here. I think with all of these units that are going to be airdrop shipped, don't be surprised that if your unit gets caught up in customs for a few extra days, as customs may not be expecting a bunch of giant printers coming through their customs. However, that transition happens. I think that's what happened with our unit. But don't be surprised because so many people backed it. And if you backed it on the channel here, shout out to you guys. We appreciate that support when you use our affiliate links. That's a huge, huge benefit for us here at the studio and for our family, our actual like home family, Abby and Gizmo. We really appreciate that support for the channel here. Seems even more promising than the U1, and I'm loving my U1. The Creator 5, I think, is going to be a little bit different. So there's trade-offs there. You're not going to have the auto feeders, which I actually, when this first came out, I was not excited for, because I'm like, man, I'm losing my AMS unit. But now that I'm loading film in and out of it, I kind of like the auto feeder. I'm interested to see how much of a pain point it's going to be when it comes to loading the filament into the Creator 5. I know there's other reviewers out there, but I need to know for our studio what that life is going to be like when I got to manually load filament. I'm partially pretty lazy when it comes to that, and it's not really lazy, it's about workflow production. The more time I spend loading something, the less time I have to program something, and even more importantly, that 10, 15 seconds extra that it takes to load the filament manually, that's 10 to 15 seconds that I could be spending with my family. That's important to me. That's where the real cost is. Nate, only concern is the lack of auto feeding and AI detection that matters in my small business. I am right there with you. Both of those. Like I just said, the auto feeding is important. It's a small thing, but like I said, I thought it was gonna be more of a bigger pain point for me than it really was with these auto feeders. And then will it be the same story with the Creator 5? And the AI detection, that is gonna be a big narrative, not just for that machine, but for the entire world as AI evolves. Like, what is that gonna look like? And that's a whole other topic. I'm not gonna get too much into tonight, but uh, that's a legit concern too for a small business. But it's uh, it's incredible to see where all this technology is going. I I I thought I saw where it was going back in January or maybe it was February, when we released that first $1,000 mistake video. But boy, it's going even faster than I imagined at that point in time, because I didn't imagine somebody was going to release an 8 tool changer other than Prusa that could possibly be affordable. What the Infimech is going to come out price wise, I don't know. But if that's in $1,000, what does it do to the rest of the industry? This Creality machine, when it comes out, what does it do to the rest of the industry? Uh, Big players are making big waves right now, possibly. I'm excited to see where everything goes. This is a very exciting time to be in 3D printing. Now, with that being said, we're almost at that 1 hour mark. If you haven't caught up, or if you're just getting into the live stream, I'm gonna catch you up. The Great Divide: tool changers, nozzle swappers, 2 different technologies developed in 2 different ways, in my opinion. Tool changers with the technology development first, nozzle swappers where we have the ecosystem. We're going to develop something that works with that. And that's where the technology divide is there. Which one comes out and wins in the end with the consumers, and is the one that sticks around, like the VHS beta tape or the Blu-ray versus the HD DVD, and so on and so forth. That's tonight's topic. Now, it's an hour into it. This is the segment that we open it up to Print and Pretzels. If you're having trouble with your 3D printer, or you're having trouble with learning a new material, and you're new to 3D printing, or you're not even new to 3D printing, drop it in the chat family. This part of the segment is for you. I'll keep talking and doing our thing here at Print and Pretzels, but we're gonna, when I say we, I mean the entire Glorious Geeks family and the Glorious Geeks crew, including our viewers, usually help you out if you have a problem. Now, take it with a grain of salt. Do your research first before you try anything, but it's just us trying to help you and welcome you to the hobby and enjoy that kind of thing. So, what I'm going to be testing when we get to the new studio, June 2nd. I got to build it out first. I'm tearing down the Alpha Centauri side probably on either Friday night or Saturday morning. I'll be taking that down, all the shelving coming down. I don't know where the A1 and A1 Mini are going to land at over here yet, but I'll have to find a spot. But that's what I'll be doing there. We'll be testing these out in the new studio, all these different dryers that we got sent or we purchased. The Creality ones we purchased ourselves, and then the Sunlu dryers were sent to us, and also the Cheeto systems. Partner E1 we'll be trying out, not only with the Snapmaker U1, but with the Creator 5 Pro and Creator 5, because that's got a different layout for the filament. So that's going to affect what dryer works best. I personally think, I don't know yet, but I think the Cheeto dryer is going to be the best one for that because of the way it's laid out. R2K, also, will you be trying the Panda treat? I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to check that out because it looks interesting to me. I saw that at their, was it Boston or was it TCT Asia? I saw that they debuted it there, and it does have me intrigued. I wonder if I can 3D print food. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Iceman74! What's up, everyone? How's it going? R2K, thoughts on the A1 fires? What do you mean A1 fires? Like, is the A1 series printers, are they catching fire? I thought that issue was solved like 2 years ago. If this resurfacing, I'd be interesting. I definitely need to know because I have one. uh, but Iceman, if you're just joining the live stream, we're talking about the great divide in 3D printing. And it's a big one. It's just like any innovative technology comes out. There's usually like two versions. They're like, here's version A, version B, beta tapes, VHS, Blu-ray, HD DVD. Which one emerges finally? Will it be tool changers that develop the full ecosystem around it first, or will it be the companies that have the ecosystem developed first to develop something that solves purge printing and doesn't waste time for filament retraction with the nozzle swappers? Will that be the development, or will it be something that combines both? That would be interesting if it can combine a tool changer and a nozzle swapper. I'm not sure how that would work, but it'd be kind of neat to see. Nate, ugh, ads. Sorry. Yeah, that's why I pay for YouTube Premium. I just skip the ads. No thanks. R2K, the NTC thermistor. I think they got rid of them in there late in 2025. Okay, cool. That means I'm safe. I got our A1. I want to say it was late 2025 because I wanted to try it out and I wanted to see because I wanted to have most of the bamboo machines that were at the affordable tool changer or tool changer at the affordable consumer price at the point in time, and tool changers weren't really out yet. The Snapmaker U1 wasn't even out. I think I got it in August because I wanted to have to print and try it out. So if you're just joining the live stream, I am so excited for this Creality machine, and I don't mean it as hyperbole. I mean it's one of the two big players, and I'm not counting Snapmaker because they're a big player in the tool changer, but with the ecosystem. Bamboo has an ecosystem. They have an AMS type system, and that's what I mean, the full printing, 3D printing experience. So does Creality, from my understanding. They have the CFS, I think is what it's called. They have the dryers. They have all that stuff built around it. They're another big player in the industry, if not right there rivaling Bamboo. And they just made the announcement for the KliTek or KliTek. I'm not sure it's how it's pronounced yet. I'll figure that out eventually. Probably once they make the actual announcement and I can hear the words being pronounced. So I'm excited to see what that does for this innovation. We have Infimech, or however that's pronounced, coming out with their version of the nozzle swapper with the spools on the side, unfortunately. So that's not going to answer our ecosystem questions, because I would really like to just be able to have the combination of the fast printing with the swapping and an AMS type system to go with it, and or the option to not print with it if possible. But because with glow PLA and abrasives, the faster you retract it in and out, it's just like sandpaper on those tubes. You'll wear your PTFE tubes out. But if you have 8 tool changings or 8 filament pass, I can print with up to 8 different colors of glow PLA, and it doesn't have to be retracted. So I won't wear out those PTFE tubes. That just dawned on me here while I'm on the live stream. That's an upgrade from the U1 currently. I'm not knocking the U1. I love ours. 2 more are on the way. It's just makes sense to me if that's how this machine comes out. Rodney Smith, what's up with Elegoo with the new offering? I'm not sure. That kind of puzzled me. It's some sort of creator edition. Are they releasing one of their printers that you can like customize? I'm not sure what's going on with that. They got an announcement. I saw it come across my feed earlier today too, and I wasn't too quite sure, so I didn't want to bring anything to anyone's attention. And I'm like, I wasn't sure what it was. Like, I'm like, you made an announcement, but what is it really? Like, give us a little bit more. What do you mean by creator edition? Like, do you mean YouTube creator edition? Like, what does that word creator mean? And Elegoo is another company that's out there that is known for making machines super affordable. When do they come out with a tool changer, nozzle swapper, whatever it's going to be? They have the infrastructure for it, I'm sure. They could take what they did with the canvas unit and make 4 tool heads. I mean, when do they do that? Larry, that excites me as I have a Cobra S1 and I already have the Ace Pro. So that's my next question for Creality. With this new machine, is it backwards compatible with the AMS units that they have with their AMS units? I'm not sure. I think, is there 2 different, I'm not in the Creality ecosystem, so I'm not like an authority on that. Is there 2 different versions of the Ace? Or their AMS units? Is it the CFS? Do they have an Ace? Is that a different? I'm not into that ecosystem. I may wind up being in that ecosystem because if this fits our workflow, that could be a printer that we get. But is it backwards compatible with the current AMS system that they have? That's another question that I would have for this thing. And I'm hoping it gets answered on Saturday when they drop that announcement. Larry, read letter above my last post. These comments sometimes come in pretty quickly. Sorry, guys. There's a guy working out in the Anycubic Pro to use the Snapmaker U1. Oh, yes. I've seen that. You're right. I see what you're saying. Okay, let me backtrack that. I've seen that on there that you can use it with there. There's also the sidecar project, what they did with, I want to say it was Box Turtle. Eric, shout out to him for the sidecar project. I know that Snapmaker brought them to TCT Boston for Rapid TCT, and they were showcasing that there. So I would imagine Snapmaker is working with Eric on something for that because they're so pro open source. I can't say they are or not, they're not, but it would be interesting to me if they brought them there to showcase that and there wasn't something, at least talks about something for an AMS type unit for the Snapmaker U1. Again, I have no information on that. I have no idea. I am fingers crossed that they do because we have 2 and 2 more on the way, and I would love to have something like that, but I don't know. I have no information. It would be cool, and I've seen community modders do it. It would solve a huge pain point, especially if it's a unit that can print and dry. Oh, all this would be for other machines at that point that we have. Pilot, have you have any H2 printers? No, I don't have any H2 printers for Bamboo, and I have a hard time justifying that for our workflow, and here's why. Say I got the H2D. I think it's $1,700. Don't quote me on that price quote. It could be cheaper, it could be more, but I know it's at a higher price point than the U1. And if we were to get that machine for our workflow, I don't really print any more than 4 colors. If I do, very rarely. And if I do, I try to figure out some other way to do it. Or I just won't do it at all. Because the Snapmaker U1, for the same price you can get at least, I want to say an H2D, you can get 2 U1s. And now the Creator 5's out. You can get more Creator 5's with it. It's the allocation of funds for our workflow. So I don't have one of those units. I haven't been sent one for review. So I don't have the authority to speak on the H2 series. However, I would love to be able to recycle my AMS units into the H2 series, especially the H2C, because that's reusing workflow items that we currently have in the studio. When we go to use the P1Ss, I don't need two AMS units with our P1Ss anymore. Those days are behind me because of the Snapmaker U1. So what do I do with those extra AMS units? That's the question I have to answer for our own workflow. And that's something that the H2 series, especially the H2C, could answer for us. However, I still, to this day, look at that price point and I'm like, that price point, how can I justify that for our business when you can get that many more production unit U1s? R2K, what short hardness TPU do you use? I saw someone use TPU Air and printed a shoe with different zones of different hardness. I would expect the TPU Air to be too soft. I used 95A in that turtle video that you guys saw that I released to the members first and then the general public. Or if you haven't seen it, it should be coming to you very soon. The TPU 95A, it was printing for like 32 hours and it was just fine. But I was doing it with this orange rack up above me without the top cover. And for some reason, at 32 and 95% completion, it decided it wanted to get jammed in the gear. I probably wouldn't print with that much TPU all at one time again, but I am planning on using it for maybe some of these dumpling dudes because they're so short and TPU is kind of squishy, so it would make it more like the squishy dumplings. But that's the shore hardness that I use is 95A currently. If I can figure out how to use something that's a little bit squishier for these guys, it would be great. But it's also got to be kind of decorative and flashy and so on and so forth. And I can attest that PETG and TPU stick abnormally well together. That turtle, its innards is not coming apart. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to watch too, printing. David, I have had bad luck. I wouldn't mind a softer insole. I've 3D printed shoes that some could be awesome. They could be customized to the person. I want to try that someday, this 3D printing a shoe. Gustav, I have seen the new Creality announcement. That's what we're talking about mostly tonight, is that new Creality announcement. I think it's going to make huge waves in the industry, and that's what the Great Divide is all about. That's really what sparked me to do this thumbnail tonight, and this topic is that announcement means that the two big players in this 3D printing world, Creality and Bamboo, are now doing nozzle changers with their ecosystem. I don't have any information on their announcement. I haven't a Creality affiliate link. I don't really use Creality affiliate products other than these two dryers I'm testing out for our personal workflow, and I'll have that affiliate link there for those dryers on that video. But I did drop the affiliate link for the new arrivals page, so that if you are going to get that, you can, if you would like to, at no cost to you, to support the channel if you're going to get that new machine. I'm going to be investigating it for our workflow because it does look like the first machine that could put all the puzzle pieces together. Ecosystem, and I mean workflow, printing while drying, fast tool changing, purgeless printing for multicolor, multi-material, and multiple tool heads, more than 4. It could be the first, could be, I don't know. It's just an image that we got on Facebook today. I was sitting at work and I saw it. I was like, whoa. So it's incredible to see that finally somebody might be putting all the pieces together. What will it do to the rest of the players in the 3D printing industry if it is that? We'll find out on Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time if you're in the United States. And that also makes me wonder, does Anycubic have anything in the works? I can't imagine these other companies are not just sitting idly by. What is their R&D teams doing? Or what are their R&D teams doing? There's so much innovation going. I think any company that is not actively developing something in the purgeless printing and speedy printing at the same time is not gonna catch the majority of the community, which may be a good thing in the long run, because they might say, okay, let the big players figure out what the industry is going to settle on, and then we'll make our affordable version on it. That could be a way to navigate this as well. I don't know, but it's going to be a fun ride for everybody in the hobby, regardless. Nate, all I saw was a post. There's, I am right there with you. I was scouring the internet. There was like 2 articles out there that showed the same image. One was like all 3DP had an article out there, but it basically said the same thing that the Creality post said. There's a big mystery on what it is, and it's their 12th anniversary that they're releasing this with, I'm imagining. My question is when they announce it, do they announce the pre-orders with it, or do they just say, hey, we're working on this, this is when we'll drop it? Do they do the Bamboo thing and they say, here's what it is, it's already there, like they did with the X2D, it's on the market, go buy it? Is that what they're going to do? Or are they going to say pre-orders are open now? I'm curious on what that is on Saturday too. I'm excited. But I have dropped in the chat, or not the chat, the comment or description on this video, that if it does happen that way and you do want to support the channel and you are going to get the machine, I'm not saying do get it, I'm not saying don't get it because I know nothing about this machine, but we do have a Creality affiliate link, and you want to support the channel and you're a Glorious Geese fan, you can use the link that I put in here. It'll take you to their new arrivals page, which I'm almost certain is where they're also going to put it on there. But anything you use when you go through that link, it will get tracked back to us at no cost to you. So if you are going to get that printer, the ones late into the game are going to have to use low prices to compete, and that's a whole nother business model that they can have. Let the big companies do the R&D, and we'll take what they do and make it even more affordable for the average consumer that doesn't have the $1,000 plus budget, that has the $500 minus budget, and that's a whole other industry within the industry, in my opinion. Nate, can't wait. Gotta run, can't wait for your Creator 5 review. I appreciate it, Nate. Take it easy. I really appreciate attending the live stream, and I can't wait for it either. I'm itching to get in the studio, and I'm not sure if the Creator 5 review will happen in this studio or in the next one because it's all moving so fast, just like the Toolchanger world, go figure. But it will happen, and I'm super excited for it. So thanks for tuning in, buddy. Any Cubic just copies other companies. I mean, technically LMU does too, and I'm not saying it's a wrong way to do it. That's a business model. It's just what companies do. They're like, okay, let's make it more affordable for more people. Iceman, I just seen the Creality just posted a mystery printer today too. I was literally sitting at work doing what I do for work, and I chimed on my phone because I follow them on Facebook, and it's like, bling, here's this image. I'm like, what is this? So I'm like, well, I guess I know what I'm going to do on the live stream tonight. So that's how the R&D behind the scenes happen for me, for you guys. David, yeah, every time a good printer comes out at around 500, I buy one. Hey, I'm gonna use our Elegoo Centauri carbons till the day they no longer function with their motherboards, because they just work, and single color prints aren't going away. They're gonna be different. They work. I got the canvas units whenever they get here later this year for that. Like, I didn't get them for multicolor. I got them for extended printing and filament tangle detection, because if I had, I can't tell you how many times I printed with our Centauri carbons, and the filament, there is no filament tangle detection, so when it happened on the printer, it's just air printing. I was like, oh, there goes all that print. So that's what I got that for. But there's every printer is going to have a purpose for what it does, whether you're printing single color, multicolor, engineering materials. There's going to be things that fit your workflow, and there might be multiple things that you need for different workflows like we do. Single color printing is still a thing. There are still things that I print that need to be assembled. The containers for these dumpling dudes that we do, those are single color. Those I can print on this Elegoo Centauri carbons, or pretty soon the Bamboo P1Ss with the single AMS unit extended. There's things are going to fit different workflows, or different points of different workflows for different problems. And what's important with all these innovations coming out, examine these printers and buy what fits your workflow. Don't just buy something out there because it's hyperbole and you're going to regret it 6 months from now. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying buy what fits your workflow, because examine, what do I need a printer for? What do I need it to do? Do I print multi-material? Do I print multicolor? Do I want to save filament costs and save time? Then get X, Y, and Z printers that are coming out. Or do you print in single color engineering materials? If that's the case, the Elegoo Centauri carbon is going to be great for you. Just don't depend on it for filament detection or tangle detection, unless you get the canvas upgrade. At that point, just get the Centauri carbon too. Same, David. I'm sitting on 24 printers. You have more printers than I do. That's awesome. At the new, I would not be able to fit 24 printers in this studio, but the next one I will be able to fit that and so much more. So I cannot wait to I'm gonna have to do some sort of shorts video before I put anything in there for you all. And if you're a member, you'll get it first. So shout out to members. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you're a member, you'll get those shorts videos first, as not only as I'm breaking down this studio, because before I touch anything in here other than packing up some filament, I'll have the boxes on the floor, and I'll say, hey, this is the last time this stuff will be up in this studio, and here's the look, full behind the scenes, and that you see where we're at. Here's Alpha Centauri side, here's Bamboo Sanctum, here's where the frozen enclosure's been living in the corner for a while, because I don't really have any room to put it yet. In the new studio I will, and I'll be able to put the A1 and A1 Mini inside of that, so Riley stops walking on the beds of those. But you'll get to see the full behind the scenes and where we've been working, and then you'll see within the same maybe week or two, it'll be a full unedited short, so don't expect any fancy editing on it, but you'll get to see that behind the scenes type stuff. I'm excited for it. Single color works fine too. Same, David. Darn, I thought my 5 was bad. I have about 10 printers, and as we get into this innovative technology, when you get the new printer, you're going to start thinking, and because this is already how I'm thinking about, since we had the U1, since I got the first U1 here, I'm like, all right, this changes my workflow. What do I do with these other printers? What can I use them for? What do I need them for? And that's where you got to make decisions on, okay, can I use this to support what I'm additionally doing, or do I have to let it go? That was the hard things that I had to do. And sometimes you do have to let things go. I see somebody asking on 3D scanner. I've heard good things about the Creality scanner. You can use the link that's in the description to go get to that. It is an affiliate link. We get a kickback on that. I'm not recommending Creality's scanner. I've heard good things about it, but I don't have one myself, so I can't fully vouch for it. But I've heard good things about their scanner. That's something else I want to look into, is like what 3D scanners are all about, because that interests me, because like there's some things that I want to scan that I would like to be like, oh, that's cool. I want to 3D print that to sell and see what that's all about. Because I think that's the next thing. It's like, okay, I need to 3D print this hinge that I broke. I need that to 3D scan that, and can I replace that hinge with that 3D scanner and some tinkering? That'd be a cool thing to do. So, well, apparently we have a visitor over here on this sitting on the box. But it just, there's so much innovation coming this year, and I really think into 2027. I was actually, before I did the most recent video on the Toolchanger, the Sovol one, I was actually actively editing the part 2 for the $1,000 mistake video, and now I have to go back and re-edit that, because I got to record stuff on Creality's machine and put that into the video, and I got to put in the Infimech stuff into the video. I got to take some things out because some of those printers haven't even come to market yet, like the atom form printer that we talked about in the original video. And like, it's when the printers are coming out faster than my editing can keep up, it's kind of funny and kind of exciting. But so you'll start seeing me do these videos on these individual printers, and then at probably some point in the midway part of the year, I'll do the follow-up for that initial video. So it's fun to be in these times as not only a content creator, but a hobbyist too. Like, whoa, where are we gonna land when all this technology hits the ground and the dust settles? What printer companies have developed the ecosystems to go with these innovative workflow changing printers? I'm fully expecting that the final technology, and this is me trying to pull out the crystal ball saying I think this is where we're going to land. I could be completely wrong and off on this, but if you're quoting me today, I think it's going to be some sort of nozzle swapping or tool changer combined with an AMS. I think that's where it's going to land. I don't know which technology is going to finalize it, but it's got to have a software ecosystem with it, and it's got to be able to print while drying, because I don't think the long-term answer for this innovation is going to be just to let the spool sit on the side of the machine and not being able to dry while you're printing. I don't think that's the final answer. I think that's the intermediate answer that we're currently at, and we'll see where we go. But that's my crystal ball type take on it. And I would love to be able to print with PETG and dry it while it's printing, because even sometimes when you get PETG from the factory, it still needs to be dried for a little while. I usually have a good habit of drying it for about an hour, hour and a half, unless I absolutely have to get it on the printer. But and that's where these power projects are going to come into play, and the super chats and the memberships, all that kind of goes into that. That's where the memberships are going into the 2 dryers that we picked up ourselves to test that workflow and to become part of that drying station if it's not part of an active workflow. Because my goal for that drying station is to be dry it and then store it. And that's part 2 of the power project, is what does that storage look like? And that is something I'm actively doing with Sunlu. They have that big storage, long-term storage cabinet coming out that holds 10 rolls. I'll be checking that out. I'll be checking out something else that I got on Amazon that's over there in a giant box. I don't have a camera hooked up right now, but it's ironically sold out right now. I think I got the last unit. I hope they put more on there because it looks promising. It's a cabinet you hang on the wall. You can hang it above your printers, and it has some sort of active humidity filtration on it. I'm going to explore that. There was something else that I'm going to explore too with that as well. Oh, the cereal box, the cereal bins. I'll explore that. What's the long-term option? And that hybrid option of, like Snapmaker has, they have the poly dryer that they paired with Polymaker with. Okay, that can dry actively while you're printing, but also it can be a long-term storage option. Like, what's the best option for long-term storage? Because it's a pain point once you get more than 5 rolls of filament you're printing with at one time. If you're printing with multicolor or multi-material and you're done with the roll, yeah, sure, you can put it in a bag and some desiccant and leave it go, but is there a better way to store it long-term? I'm ready to get rid of these filament racks and find a better solution for that. David, for me, thinking about an ecosystem is a new idea due to all the new advances. Yeah, and I think that's going to be a lot of us long term, is we're going to be developing our own internal to our own workflows ecosystem around it. Not everybody likes Bamboo, not everybody likes FlashForge, not everybody likes Snapmaker. They're going to find their ecosystem where they like to land, what's comfortable for them. And then we have to figure out, all right, what does the company offer that will answer the pain points that we have currently still with it? Or is there another company that we can pair something with, like what I'm doing with the U1, these dryers, or the Creator 5. These dryers, I need to answer the glow filament question, because I don't know if you've ever had glow PLA. It's extremely fragile once it absorbs moisture. It will snap off at like a small curve. And those print heads, they will not, it'll snap off right in the tube. So if you dry it, you're fine. But that's the pain point I had to answer. David, what about the 4D or 5D printing that looks like a cool advancement? That could be a possible innovative technology that comes down the road either sooner or later. I don't know much about 4D or 5D printing. I haven't really looked into it because we're hitting the busy side of the year. The like May through, I want to say November-ish time frame. We've got, I mean, obviously YouTube's kicking off. We got the art fairs that are kicking off, stuff like that. That keeps me extremely busy, because if I'm not recording for YouTube or editing for YouTube for you all, I'm actively searching for art fairs that you'll check out, or prepping the products to go to art fairs. And shout out for future content. I actually have a video in the pipeline right now about, if you want to sell 3D prints, the 5 tips and tricks that I use to help sell my 3D prints that I print. So that'll be coming out at some point. I don't know when, as soon as these tool changers slow down, if ever. But that's also content that I'm working on long term for you all. Because that's important, because at some point in time, whether you act upon it or not, I would think, I can't speak for everyone, but it happened to me, and I'm like, can I make my initial investment back? And look what it turned into. It turned into a business, and it's a very fun business, and I very much enjoy it. But that Creality machine that's coming out, stay tuned on that. If you don't follow Creality on Facebook, follow them, because it's either going to be a boom or a bust. I don't think it's going to be anything in between. I think it's going to be like, oh man, this surpasses what we expected them to announce, or You know, I was really expecting more. They said that they're gonna have this image with 8 different feed paths, but they offer a 4 feed path machine. Um, it's not gonna be anything that's gonna be anything in between, like, oh, yep, okay, it's their next machine, and we move on. It's gonna be something to pay attention to one way or another. And if you haven't checked out Strong Hero 3D's filament on Amazon, check it out because it's super cool and it's really cool to print with. It's PETG, but they also offer some really cool PLA options. I actually use their glow filament PLA, their blue-green gradient over there. So it's really cool. So we've been on stream for about an hour and 30 minutes now. Drop your questions in the chat. If you have anything that you want answered when this new machine comes out, at least the information released on Saturday at that 7 p.m. Pacific time or the 10 p.m. Eastern time when it drops. What are you thinking? What do you want to see from Creality? If you're even interested in a Creality machine when it drops, what do you hope for this machine or hope it doesn't do in that case? What are your thoughts on this? My initial thoughts, obviously, we know, but I want to know what the community thinks. Let me know in the comments, replay family or chat family, what you would like to see in that, because it's as far as I'm aware of, the second biggest 3D print company, if not the biggest, next to Bamboo. I think they're pretty close as far as company size. What do you want to see from them? I would love to see the full workflow completion from printing to drying. Let's see something that answers the whole puzzle. There's so much potential for completion of workflow. Now, not everybody's workflow is going to be like ours, and they're not going to need to worry about print while drying. If you have one machine at home and you only seldomly print, that's not going to be the issue for you all like it would be for us here at the studio. However, I would think that you would want to see something like purgeless printing be possible part of it, which I don't think there's any way it wouldn't, but we don't know. We'll know in 3 days. Thursday, Friday, yeah, Saturday, 3 days. But there's so much that is possible with this great divide, the innovative technology that's coming out. What do you want to see in a machine? And I did the Snapmaker U1. What do you want to see in the next Snapmaker U1? But what do you want to see in a machine that would answer all of your workflow problems? That's something that these companies, I mean, they obviously want to sell you a printer, but that kind of feedback, even if it's on a small channel like ours, is important to them. I don't know if they'll ever look, but it's important to voice your needs and your concerns for printers, because it'll be seen, maybe, I don't know. But if you don't voice it, it'll never be seen. Catch up on some of these comments. The H2S with an AMS light. Interesting. May I ask why? What kind of a workflow does that fit? I'm interested for sure, because I have an AMS light. If I could use it, that would be awesome. I haven't used it since I took it off the A1 Mini, but that kind of pairing. David, what about a plate that self-removes the print? So you're talking like the oh, what is it? I've seen it with they work with Bamboo machines right now, and it's not the Chi2 systems plate cycler. It's Farm Loop. Farm Loop, I think it either removes the print off of the. It's got like some sort of like wedge that pushes it off there, and then starts the next one. For me, I kind of like that, removing the print. That's why I enjoy the A1 Mini with the plate cycler, because I still get to remove the print. Oh, so you prefer it to the normal AMS. Uh, can I ask why you still or may I ask why you prefer it to the normal AMS? Is it because of like ease of placement? I'm curious on that one. I would like to see how many tool heads would be the magic number for me. I think eight. I think eight tool heads would be the magic number. First of all, let's talk about magic price. uh, because you could get an eight tool head machine at $2,000 for sure. Yeah, but it's always going to be a toss up or a balance game between price and what technology you get for said price. If you get the tool changer with eight tool heads or nozzle swapper with eight tool heads at $1,500 for eight of them, and you still get an AMS unit with it, that would be wild to me because that would be very, very priced competitively. And it would make me wonder, what does it do to the Creator 5 and the Snapmaker U1's price point if something like that is offered that can be so competitive and isn't priced that much higher than that price point? Because right now the U1 is $899, I believe, and the Creator 5, I want to say the last time I looked, it was like seven something. I think I haven't looked in a little bit, but uh, if it, yeah, you could get technically two Creator 5s for the $1,500, but what build volume do you get with the tool swapper or the nozzle changer? What tool swapper? I got those mixed up. Nozzle swapper and tool changer. What build size do you get? Is it the 300 size? Okay, now you're talking the Creator 5's got the 256. You get a bigger build volume too. There's those trade-offs that you're going to see, and does it justify upping the budget a little bit in order to get those trade-offs? Does it come with an CFS or whatever Creality's version of the material system? What does that look like? What is that price point? Is that the 50? If Creality comes out and says, here's this new innovative machine with this CFS or whatever they call it at $1,500, what does that do to the rest of the market? What does that mean for price points across the board? Assuming it works and there's no issues with it, I'd imagine it would really change some things. David, with the new mixing of colors, six colors would work for me, then you can CMYK and support filament. That would also be a very good point. That's something else that I didn't really touch on too much with this live stream. CMYK support or the full spectrum support. If you only need the six tool heads, you could get the support filament with the five, and then the six tool head is the support for it. But if you had the eight tool heads, could you do additional shading? Could you do additional things with it? Where's the balance? And how does full spectrum shake out with all of this? Now that it's out there, how is that changing the industry? Do we see printer companies come out with just standard CMYK ink or filament? I say ink like it's a 2D printer. Do we start seeing that be standardized across the board? That would be interesting. Do these printer companies no longer have to think about, okay, we don't need to sell these 15,000 different strands of filament. We just need to do these four. that would be interesting to me to see. Now, how do you get glitter mixed in with that? Because you have like glitter PLAs and glitter PETGs or gradients. How do you get gradient mixed into that? Does CMY? I mean, actually, it does because you can change the color in the thing. But the specialty like aesthetics to the colors, the glitter, um, the translucency. I know you can use translucent filament that actually brings out CMYK a little bit better. Like, what does that mean for filament processes and manufacturing of filament? How does that change that industry? Lori Ann Brown, hey, just saw the stream. I was wondering, Creality versus Snapmaker. Are you referring to Creality's Vortex system coming out in a few days? Yes, Lori, the KliTek or KliTek, I don't know how it's pronounced yet. That's what I am referring to this live stream, and that's what we have been talking about. And how I think that announcement that is coming up in 2 days, a few days, Saturday is what it is, the 29th. What does that mean for the industry? I fully see a great divide coming with these nozzle swappers and tool changers. The nozzle swappers, these companies, Bamboo, Creality, have their ecosystems in place. These, not these, but the AMS units and the CFS units, these material systems, and they developed the nozzle swappers around that system. That they have the ecosystem to go with it, and they're developing a technology to work with that to offer the purgeless printing, and hopefully they solve the filament retraction time issue. The other side of the coin is the tool changers. They developed the technology. They developed the purgeless printing, the fast purgeless printing. The U1s, which are both paused right now, which is interesting. Actually, that one's changing its nozzle right now and is going. They develop tool changers and they're fast. They change out the filament in 5 to 7 seconds and they solve the purge issue. Which company gets the full ecosystem, including software, around their system and gets it out to the community first? That's what I'm interested to see, what the Creality system that comes out on Saturday, the announcement at least, is that going to put the whole puzzle piece or all the puzzle pieces together? Is that what Creality has been developing behind the scenes? And is like, hey, we've seen the Snapmaker U1 come out, we were on it, we saw that purgeless printing was the way to go, and we also see that the Vortex was kind of slow with the filament swapping, and we solved it all, and here you go. Is that what Creality did? Or is there more to this machine than meets the eye? What is going to happen when that announcement is dropped? That's what I'm curious about, because it looks like it could solve and put all the pieces together. David, Amazon already has bundles for around 50. See, that's what I'm talking about with the filament. Are they offering the CMYK as bundles? I think BQ has a CMYK bundle, but do they develop specific like pigmentations and industry, like categorize it across the industry? Like, hey, this is the pigment that we use, this is the however we do the filament, and it's standardized. That's the word I'm looking for across the industry. So that way, if you get filament from this brand or this brand and print with CMYK, it's not going to mess up your pigmentations. Now, I don't know if that will or not, or will the slicer calculate the differences? Lori Ann Brown, pretty sure it's Clipper Vortex, Clyde. I see what you're saying there. Clipper Vortex, KliTek, so open source Clipper. That would be interesting, and I like what you did though, or if Creality did that, I see what they're doing. That would be interesting. I'll be looking out for that and seeing if that's part of the announcement, how they develop that name. Guitar Brew. Filament companies hate tool changers. I definitely think that tool changers and nozzle swappers are going to cause the entire filament industry to recalibrate. Maybe not necessarily right away, because there's still a ton of single nozzle multicolor printers out there, especially as these tool changers and innovative technology push those printers down in price. Other people are going to buy those, much like you buy the older iPhones and stuff like that because they're cheaper when you get your phone plan and stuff. People are going to buy those, but I think there will be some sort of filament, and keep an eye out for it as time goes on for that. Given the diversity of filament, I doubt it is in the foreseeable future. I'm not saying like in the next year or two, I'm saying like in the next 10 years. What does filament manufacturing look like? That's kind of what I'm leaning into, like long-term crystal ball. 10 years grayer than I am currently. Uh, what is these innovative technology do to filament manufacturing? Is what I'm leaning into there. Just basically looking at the crystal ball and be like, does it change it? Does it not? Uh, we don't know, but I could see that a possibility there. I don't see it changing those specialty filaments. In one of our previous videos, I did do a video on, I could see companies changing from making 60 different runs of filament to making CMYK, and then another company specializing in these like specialized glitter filaments, and kind of like Polymaker does. They have a really great color selection. Oh, and shout out if you guys are watching right now, just reminded me, if you buy Sunlu filament, you can use code BeGlorious for 3% off your filament purchase, and it does help out the channel, saves you some money. And if you're a new Polymaker customer, you can use code BeGlorious at checkout and save 15% off your Polymaker order. So that's kind of a cool perk we got from Polymaker for being part of their affiliate program. And I use a lot of their glow PLA for different projects, like this mushroom cap. That's their rainbow PLA, glow in the dark. Yeah, some standardization, even if it's for the RFID. Can we please RFID standardize? Like, please? Can I drop it in one, drop it in one AMS unit and drop it in another AMS unit and they just read? Like, that would be great. That would be a huge pain point solve. I know Elgu was trying to do it for a while back there, but I didn't see any traction on that. It just would be nice if there was a standardization. If I grab a roll of bamboo filament and I put it in a Creality machine, can it please just read it? Why do we have to be so closed off that it doesn't solve ease of access for consumer? Like, let them buy your filament even if they don't use your machine and read it, because that would just encourage them to buy more filament from you. That just makes sense to me. Maybe it doesn't make sense, I don't know, but it'd be nice to own a Creality machine and buy bamboo filament if it's on sale and it just drops in there, which would encourage more bamboo filament to be bought, in my opinion. Lori, I haven't seen any CMYK printed items. I am a graphic designer who worked with CMYK 40 years ago, and it was never a perfect process. It really just an optical illusion and not true blended colors. I did see when I was at Michigan Maker Summit, shout out to Michigan Maker Summit, when I was down there, I did see some CMYK being test printed on a U1 there, and it was interesting, and I could see where the illusion came from, but it was really neat because it looked pretty comparable, but also wasn't perfect. But I also don't think it was perfect because there's only 4 tool heads. If there was the 5, possibly 6, if you wanted to do support, different material for supports, I could see how it could get better, and I'm interested to see where it goes. I know Snapmaker just brought Ratadu on board to develop it with them. Shout out to them for doing that. That's so cool to see as an open source community proponent. I love open source stuff. I'm not against closed source stuff. There's a place in the world for both, but it's cool to see the community support from Snapmaker on that point. Legal automations because money. You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. Helix, Bamboo Lab doesn't make money on their printers. They make money off filament. I think that's what most of the companies, filament, they probably make a lot of money on. I'm sure Sunlu makes a ton of money on their filament. Who knows? Like, filament is probably let's look at our 2D printers, for example. Look how cheap 2D printers are versus the ink cartridges cost. Right there, the ink cartridges cost sometimes more than the printer does. So, and now you got subscriptions for ink for like our HP printer that we have. Will that be a thing? Is that going to be a thing going forward? Bamboo and these other companies, are you going to offer me subscriptions to buy filament from you guys? Please don't. Or maybe do. I don't know. That would be wild. Those would be wild days. Helix, I'm happy to see your stance on open source. I am full open source. I am going to be clear on that. I want open source because it encourages innovation. It's how tool changers were developed, in my opinion. Prusa, however you pronounce it. They did the first one with the Core One, or not Core One, the XL. They did the first 5 that I'm aware of. Maybe there's been more, but they're open source, which encouraged Snapmaker to do theirs, and they're open source, and they release it to the community, and the community gets to make coffee makers with the new one. That's freaking cool to see. And it is a bit of a pain point for me with our Bamboo machines that they're so closed source that the upgrades that I like to do with BQ that sometimes break because they close off their firmware. That was a pain point. I can't use the Panda Touch if I upgrade my machine. I don't think I'll ever have that issue with the Snapmaker U1. I have no crystal ball, but if a touch comes out for the Snapmaker U1 and I can manage multiple U1s with it, that would be really cool. So there's proponents, but also Bamboo has been linked to being the Apple of 3D printing. They offer that experience. But how long does that last? Like, you have to keep up with your technology and your workflow and your ecosystem. That's going to matter. If you don't, then you're not going to be not known as the Apple of 3D printing for very long. And this is a small YouTuber opinion. David, 3D printing needs to stay open source for it to grow. I fully believe that as well. The innovation will happen because of open source. And what will happen is open source will develop it, and these other companies will extract from it and use it. We saw it with Bamboo. They brought the full spectrum into their house, the wheelhouse. How you feel about that, that's up to you. To me, it kind of feels like icky, but that's that. I'm not for or against Bamboo, other than what they've done recently. I couldn't stand for that. Other than that, I own machines and they do just work, but I am fully expecting. Apparently, I have a filament. Oh, it's filament run out. That's why it stopped. Okay. But I'm fully proponent for open source because it encourages community cooperation and innovation. That's a big thing. Now think about this. Just imagine how tool changers are going to make filament sales for every filament maker go through the roof. I think 2 things are going to happen there. And you're already probably seeing, I did a video on this a while back. You can go check it as the filament crisis video. I don't remember if that's exactly what it was titled. But tool changers are going to make filament go through the roof. And also these single color, multicolor printers are going to make filament go through the roof because they're more affordable. People are getting them. People are having these ideas. I got a 3D printer. Can I take it to an art fair and sell things? You're going to see these 3D prints being sold more often because these A1s and A1 minis and P1Ss and P2Ss, all these single nozzles are being pushed down in price because the new innovative technology is taking its place. So they're more affordable for people to buy, which means more people buying more filament and more people consuming filament and more filament being wasted. It's going to be the pigment pinch is what I called it. Helix, I did R&D for Lexmark and Toshiba here in Kentucky, and I can tell you Lexmark lost a lawsuit over their cartridges. Yikes. Oof. Oh, they do make money on their AMS systems too. I think that's why these bigger companies are all about staying with those AMS style systems, those ecosystems, because they do make money with those. If a company doesn't make money, they don't stay in business for very long. David, I've seen photos of lithographs using it and they look good. I haven't seen any lithographs with the CMYK yet, but I can see how that would be because of how the optical illusion works and light passes through the litho panes. I think they could probably look extremely great. Legal. I think one of my worries of standardization is that we could see the subscription model or the closed op model for filament. That's what I was just alluding to. And it wasn't by accident. I was like, 2D printers have subscription models for ink. And then I was like, oh, wait, is that coming for 3D printing? I hope I didn't just put that out in the universe because I really don't want it to. I don't want subscription for filament. I have enough subscriptions in my life as it is. Lorianne Brown, which is good for those of us with print farms. They mostly print single color items. Yes, 100%. And they're going to stay away from those 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 colors because they don't have the technology for that. We do. That's how we're going to be able to separate ourselves from the competition is we have the most innovative technology for the most colors and the most capability for printers. We'll be able to print those wacky, crazy, giant 3D prints that are look extravagant with the black and the white and the gradient and multiple gradients, and it just looks completely out of this world versus the single color printers. They're still going to have their place, but they're going to be selling a different type of product, and it will have to be at a lower price point, where this is currently right now at a higher price point, and because it's limited. There's only so many Snapmaker U1s in the world. There's more every day, but until that becomes the industry standard and everybody has one, we're still be able to ahead of the game. But these people are still getting those prints that are the single color. They're going to have to figure out their niche on single color printers because that's going to fill up real quick. Helix, I've been thinking about investing in a next Toolchanger that can reach 340. I don't know what the 340 NOZ means, but 120 bed and 65C chamber. Oh, nozzle. Okay, 340-degree nozzle. People are modding their U1s for heated chamber printing. They are. They are modding the U1 for heated chamber printing. I have the Panda Touch or the Panda Breath. I'm hoping to get installed when we get to the new studio, so I can try out some of these crazy things. R2K. I don't think there's any bad think that's a bad idea, especially if you print consistently. I just don't think subscription should be the only way. Yeah, I if you print consistently and you use, like, say I use a ton of black and white PLA or black and white PETG. If I could get a subscription that lowers my cost for those, that'd be excellent because it lowers production costs. However, I hope we don't have to buy subscriptions to get any filament. That would be rough. Like it would like lock you into a company. Again, I hope I'm not putting that out there in the universe. And something else I'm excited for in the next studio, this table is going to be changing, and I'm hoping to get like a monitor up here I can watch your guys' chats and stuff with. That would be a neck saver. Lori, I have mostly Creality print farm and only run PLA and 95% single color. Lori, I have no experience with Creality machines, and what is your experience with the AMS unit from them? What do you like about them, and what do you not like about them? I'm curious because with this new machine coming out, I may get into the Creality ecosystem. I don't know, but I'm curious on what your experience is. And if you're not on our Discord, link up with us on the Discord. It's the Glorious Geeks HQ because I'm curious on what that experience is all about or like and all about for that ecosystem. I've been in the Bamboo ecosystem. It works. It's great. The AMS units, you have to make sure you keep up with your maintenance, and I'm sure the Creality machines are the same way. But what is that experience like? Is it the experience if it just works, or is there a little bit more of a nuance to it? I would like to have that information if you have that available. And yeah, also, what printers do you have, and how much do you enjoy them? R2K. And if you have guaranteed colors and choice, my issue is with companies abusing the system. I agree. Like, let's not abuse the system. If I can get a subscription of the specific color, like I don't need it right now because still have plenty of the rolls, but Sakura pink, if I can get a subscription for just that filament, like make that commitment, like I want one roll a month for the next 6 months. Okay, that would make sense for certain colors in our workflow. Why am I still talking about this? Do I want it or do I not want it? Like, uh, maybe I should patent that idea before somebody else puts it out there in the universe. Lori, I have 2 CFS units, one for my K2 Pro and one for my HI, and they run perfectly, no issues. I use them mostly for auto refill, but do multicolor with them occasionally. And that's something else I like about the AMS units. Auto refill is just entanglement detection is nice too. That's something we don't have in the U1 yet. That would be, oh, I mean, we do, but we don't. But the auto refill, you have it on there as well, but not in the same way. But I do enjoy that with the Bamboo printers, and I do enjoy that, or hopefully we'll enjoy that with the LEU Centauri carbon upgrades when I get them. It's nice to have, okay, if I have this same color and material loaded in there and it just takes over, or if it detects that filament, it just pauses the print. I haven't had the greatest experience with the filament tangle detection on the U1s. However, take that with a grain of salt because half the time it's probably because I didn't have it turned on. So that's partially 90% of that user error. So David, Amazon has subscribe and save if you get a discount on filament doing that way. That is a good point. Amazon does have that. However, some of the colors that I order them infrequently depending on what customers print, or not print, but buy. Like one item might be super hot for 3 months and then all of a sudden it's not selling anymore. So if I'm tied into a subscription for 6 months, what if that item never comes back? So then I'm stuck with a lot of filament. So there's a trade-off there. I save $2 a roll on a filament, but also I have a bunch of filament left over. I'm sure I'll figure out what I can do with it, but it is a good point that it is an option for subscribe and save. I like that idea. Helix. TD has been tight-lipped about regarding their IDEX system. Not heard from their marketing department in weeks, so they're not letting any leaks out. I bet they're also a big player in the game, especially in the engineering filament or engineering materials. Like if a company doesn't have something either in beginning R&D at the very least, or already in active development for this new tool changer nozzle swapper world that we're living in, they're waiting for the technology to standardize so that they can make the affordable version. However, I would be surprised that most of these companies don't already have something in development. I would be flabbergasted if Bamboo doesn't have something in development at the very least. I think when the U1 dropped, they already had the X2D in development and it was close to being released, at least to earlier reviewers. And the H2C got sped up. I don't think that they plan to release that before the X2D. That's just my take on it. We'll never know for sure unless you work at Bamboo or you're in close communication to their R&D developers or R&D department. But I think when this machine came out, it changed the entire look of the landscape of 3D printing. Lori, I have entered 4, Ender 3. Man, you definitely are in that ecosystem. I have retired my OG Ender 3. Yeah, I retired my OG Neptune 2 S's and actually all my bed slingers from Elegoo probably this time last year is when I was printing with my last Neptune 4 Pro. David, you can cancel at any time. That is true. You can cancel at any time. That is pretty flexible. Maybe you got me on there. Maybe you got me there for a minute. David, did you just sign me up for another subscription? R2K No Heroes. I wonder when we will get a different form factor than we have with the U1 and the Creator 5. I'm asking the same question about Bamboo. When do we get a different form factor for the P series, X series, or will it be a different machine entirely? I'm kind of hoping for that. Do we get a different form factor for that? Because that would be fun. I'm not sure about the Creator 5 or Creator 5 or the U1. On the Snapmaker side of things, I could not imagine them not having something in active development. I don't know. I truly, truly don't know if they have something in active development, but I would be surprised with how fast that the technology is rolling out. And they had to have known as soon as they knew what product they had and how well it worked. I can't imagine that they weren't forward thinking enough to be like, all right, we're going to shake up the market. We better be ready for it to shake us up back. I can't imagine them not, but I'm not them, so take that with a grain of salt. But I can't imagine them not having some sort of like pro unit or something else in development. They may wait to release whatever that is until all of this shakes out. I don't know, but I can't imagine with their anniversary coming up, the 10th anniversary, which is a huge one, a decade being around and being successful, and the U1 being released last year. Will we see something? I don't know. But I can't imagine with everything that's coming out that they're not trying to stay ahead. Lori, switched up from hobby printing to business last January and had to buy the new printers last year to keep up. I'm in the same boat. I switched over from hobby printing, not January of the past year, but like August of the prior year. So it's 2026. It'd be like August of 2024. That's when I switched over from hobby printing to printing for business. And now we've got 3 printers on the way, and we'll break that that dozen mark when those get here. Lori, I'm thinking about getting a Cheaty Max, and I think it is just to try them, and would have gotten a U1 if I hadn't a 300 by 300 build plate. That's what I use the most of. So when I released that, what do you want in the U2 video a while back, I asked everyone, hey, what do you want in the next iteration of the Snapmaker machine? And there were a few things that were quite frequently said. More tool heads. I think that's whatever they do next, that's probably going to be a given. Then the next most popular thing was quick swap nozzle. That would be smart. Or if they don't switch to whole nother swapping mechanism, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. But also a larger bed size would make more sense too. I also talked about it in a video. I don't remember which one it was, but actually, did the Infimech just make good on my? No, they didn't, because their nozzles are still in the back. If FlashForge or somebody like FlashForge took what FlashForge did, put those tool heads on the side, and did it on the other side too, you could get all of those tool heads on the side, and then you don't lose the space in the back. Because I don't know about anybody else, but when I put a printer on the shelf, my most limited space is from front to back, not side to side. As you can see on our IKEA B-roll shelves here, I have 36 inches this way, but only 25-ish that way. So let me use everything in the back, and if you want to expand the printer to the side, do it that way. Then we can get some pretty big printers on the same bench. But not everybody has the same bench constraints that I do. And eventually I'm gonna have to get bigger benches or combine some benches. So if you're just joining us on the live stream, we talked about the great divide that's coming, or that's probably already here. And now that I think about it, it's the nozzle swappers versus the tool changers. They're here, or it's here. What technology is going to land and stick is the ultimate goal of this live stream to talk about. Next week, we may or may not be in the new studio, which is super exciting for us because it's like triple the size and much more room to grow things and grow this channel in. So shout out to Sparks for that super chat tonight. I really appreciate that. Those go to our power projects. Those that drying station we're going to be developing on and trying to show everyone how you can, or we're going to try to dry filament with the power of the sun, which means using a battery and solar panels to offset the cost of drying. Because to me, it just makes sense to do that. Like, why pay for that extra electricity? Yeah, you have to invest in a battery, but like over time, these things suck up a lot of power, which is electricity bill. But that's what the super chats go towards, or power projects like that. That's what we're labeling power projects. But hopefully, fingers crossed, next week we'll be in the new studio for our live stream, and next week will be our first of the month members live stream on Sunday, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday, of the first Sunday of June. We'll do our members only live stream, so keep an eye out for that. And if you've been tuning into these Printing Pretzels, thank you for joining us every week. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you joining us. And until next time, be glorious.